friends, this is Jennifer Jennings, your online real estate expert with answers to all of the questions that y'all keep emailing me at heyjenrealtor@gmail.com. Absolutely love some of the content that we're getting because it's just so real world and things that sometimes we don't think about going over because for us, it's just kind of commonplace. We do this every day. And so I love the questions that are addressing some of the things that we kind of take for granted, which brings me to the question that I got just this morning. This is what it says. It says, "Hey Jen, I'm just a little confused. I'm about to close on my house, but I don't understand when I get my keys." There are so many reasons why the fact that you are confused makes sense, because when you actually get these keys to your house, depends on several factors. When you get your keys is actually one of the items that you negotiate in the contract itself. When you're talking to friends, and this happens a lot, you're excited, you're buying a house, you start talking to all your friends and you hear stories about when they got the keys. "Oh, I was so excited, I got the keys to sign the papers and they handed me the keys right there at closing and it was wonderful." And another friend will say, "Man, we had to wait like 3 or 4 hours before we got our keys and we were sitting in our U-Haul and we went to lunch and we still didn't have our keys." And other people might even say, "We got our keys before we even moved into the property. We lived in it for a month before we even signed the paperwork," or "We didn't get our keys until 2 months later." And all of that can be true because it's a negotiable item on the contract. The contract says that you own the property whenever it closes and funds. And closing and funding is actually 2 different times. And we'll talk more about that on another video. But closing and funding is when you actually will own the property. When you get the keys is different. You can get the keys at funding, you can get the keys at closing, but it's one of those things that you are going to want to make sure that you and your real estate agent talk directly to the seller's agent to see if y'all can all get on the same page with that. If a property table funds, which means the lender gets the money to the title company the minute you sign the paperwork, then you might be able to get the keys immediately. Some sellers are a little bit more particular and they do not want you to have keys or access until actually the sellers have received the money, or you negotiated a temporary lease on the contract when you were purchasing it that said, "Hey, we want to be able to close on the 30th, but if we can move in on the 15th, that would be ideal for us." So you would negotiate a temporary lease, which means you would get the keys before closing. While it seems like it's a really simple answer and you're going to sign paperwork and then someone's going to hand you keys, that's just not how it plays out in actual real estate practice. There are no dumb questions, especially when you're dealing with something as important as being able to move into your new house. Make sure that that's a conversation you have with your real estate agent at the time that you make the offer. If you have any other questions, y'all, please send them to me. It's heyjenrealtor@gmail.com. And I look forward to kind of helping you negotiate this whole buying and selling properties. Have a great day.